Chưa hết. Nóng quá, nóng quá.
Nóng nữa.
Không có tôi dùng.
Good morning. Welcome to the City of Westminster's third annual American Vietnam War Veterans Day recognition ceremony. I'd like to recognize some special guests joining us here today at Sid Goldstein Freedom Park. Mayor Chi Charlie Nguyen. Vice Mayor Mark Nguyen, District 3. Councilmember Carlos Monzo, District 2. Council members Nam Quan Nguyen and Amy Van West were unable to join us today. Also, United States Congressman Derek Tran. From the office of Senator Tony Strickland, Max Werner. Assembly Member Tree Top. And from the office of Orange County Supervisor Janet Nguyen's office, Michelle Doe. We also have from the Westminster School District Board member Francis Nguyen. And I hope I'm not missing anybody. Okay, and I see that Councilwoman Amy Van West is here as well. I'd like to recognize some staff that's present. City Manager Christine Cordone cannot be here today. She's taking care of her 2 sick children. Assistant City Manager Adolfo Ozeda Barraza will be here shortly. Deputy Chief Ron Weber. Community Service Director Vanessa Johnson. The presentation of the colors will be conducted by the Westminster Police Department Honor Guard. The national anthem will be performed by Jennifer Quay. Jennifer is an active community member with years of experience mentoring students through the Vietnamese Student Association. Our invocation will be delivered by Police Chaplain LaBelle. At this time, we ask everyone to please stand, if you're able, for the presentation of the colors.
Facebook có cái lối sắp đi nên là ngày 29 tháng 3 ngày 6 năm kali là riêng cái story lại của chính mình là dần dần đi
left, right, left, right, detail, left, freeze it.
Facebook có cái lối sắp đi Facebook ko kaluwas sa pilig.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we gather today to remember and honor those who gave their lives in Vietnam. We thank you for their courage. Your word tells us greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. We honor these heroes who lived out that truth. We also lift up those who returned home, those who carried unseen wounds, who were not always welcomed as they should have been. Lord, bring them healing, honor, and peace. Comfort the families who still grieve, and help us never forget the cost of freedom. May we live in a way that reflects their sacrifice. In Jesus' name, amen.
Honor guard. Right. Hicks. Forward. March. Left, right, left. Right.
Đó là lấy chọc cả đầu buổi lễ của Facebook của em đang trực tiếp bên trên YouTube của
You may be seated. Thank you to the honor guard for being here with us today, and thank you Jennifer for the beautiful rendition of our national anthem. Chaplain LaBelle, we always appreciate your inspiring message. Now it's my honor to introduce Mayor Nguyen.
Thank you, Chien. So first and foremost, I would like to invite all American Vietnam veterans. Please stand to be recognized. Let's put our hands together to thank them for being here this morning. And good morning. Thank you very much. You can be seated. Good morning, and thank you for being here this morning to join us. And welcome to Westminster American Vietnam Veteran Day 2026. Like you know that we have this every year for the last 2 years, and this is the third year that we have it, the event, and we appreciate you for being here. My name is Charlie Nguyen, and I'm the mayor for our city of Westminster, and I am deeply honored to stand before you as we gather to express our profound gratitude to the brave men and women who served during the Vietnam War. This year marks the third year that our city has come together for this solemn and meaningful observance. In 2023, the Westminster City Council and I proudly proclaim March 29 as National American Vietnam Veteran Day in our city. Building on the national recognition established by President Proclamation and federal law. It is a commitment we made not just in words, but in remembrance and in gratitude. Today, we honor only those who serve, not only those who serve, but all who were touched by the Vietnam War, especially the veterans of the United States Armed Forces and their families. Your sacrifice, your courage, and your unwavering dedication will never be forgotten. More than 2.7 million Americans answered the call to serve in Vietnam. They stood shoulder to shoulder with the Vietnamese people, carrying the immense weight of war with courage, resilience, and honor. They served during one of the most challenging chapters in our nation's history. Yet they were brave in their duty. They never wavered in their duty. My apologies because I forgot my classes today. So, and today we pause to remember the more than 58,000 Americans service members who made the ultimate sacrifice. Their names, their stories, and their legacy live on in the freedoms we cherish today. Here in the city of Westminster, we also observe Black April, a time of remembrance of all lives affected by the war. On April 30th, we will gather once again to honor the memories of those lost, military and civilian, American and Vietnamese, and to reflect on the enduring impact of that history. Westminster stands today as a powerful testament to resilience, hope, and unity. Over the past 50 years, this city has been shaped by veterans, by immigrants, by families who rebuilt their lives here, and by the share of belief in the freedom and the opportunity. The Vietnamese American community, alongside American veterans, has helped transform this city into a vibrant and diverse home of the generation to come. To our veterans, your service did not end when you returned home. The strength that you show in war, you carry into building families, businesses, and communities. Because of you, your children and your grandchildren are growing up in the city with that stronger, richer in culture and united in purpose. We owe you a debt and we can never fully repay, but we will never stop trying to honor it. On behalf of the city of Westminster, thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and your enduring legacy. May we always remember. And may God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Facebook เขาก็เลยเข้าไป YouTube เขาก็เลยเข้าไปที่นี่ที่นี่ YouTube người Việt là từ YouTube lên sòng cái từ YouTube เขาก็เลยเข้าไปช่วยให้
Thank you, Mayor.
YouTube
Next, I'd like to invite Vice Mayor Nguyen to the podium.
Facebook เขาก็เลยเข้าไป bữa nay là ngày 29 tháng 3 2026 năm Cà Lì. Đây là lễ tưởng niệm lễ vinh danh.
Today we gather to honor America's Vietnam veterans, those who served, those who bore unseen wounds, and those who never returned home. There are times when the heart cannot fully speak. It cannot find enough words for gratitude, enough tears for sorrow, or enough tenderness for that cherished hug or the deep kiss we would give to those we love and honor. If only we could hold them once more. And yet our presence here speaks. Our remembrance speaks. In coming together, in bowing our heads, and in saying their names, we keep them close. We keep them alive. Death does not separate us from those we love and honor. As long as they are remembered, they remain with us, forever alive in our hearts. I just want to mention that Master Gunnery Juan Valdez, who was 88 years old, passed away on March 4th, 2026 this year. He was the last official Marine out of the embassy in Saigon. May God bless all of you and your family, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to now introduce Councilmember Monzo to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I want to say a special thanks to our city staff for putting together this great event for all of us, for all of you, year after year. Thank you very much. In 1961, President John F. Kennedy called on Americans with words that would echo through a generation. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Many answered that call. Some volunteered for service. Others were drafted. All stepped forward to serve something greater than themselves. To crush communism, defend freedom and democracy. Soldiers from all walks of life said it was their chance to do what the World War II generation had done and seemed so proud of. Nearly 2.7 million GIs deployed to Vietnam. Among them were more than 11,000 women, many of whom served as nurses on the front lines. They treated traumatic combat injuries in an environment described as controlled chaos. In November 1965, Lieutenant Colonel Hal Moore led the 1st Battalion, 7th Cavalry into the Battle of Dien Drum. His leadership inspired his soldiers to hold their ground despite heavy casualties. The battle showcased the power of air mobility, using helicopters to insert troops, resupply them, evacuate the wounded and the dead in Vietnam's difficult terrain. The Americans had two things going for them here: a great commander and great soldiers. 79 of Hal Moore's men lost their lives. 121 were wounded. Lieutenant Colonel Moore, speaking after the battle, said, and I quote, "Please convey to the American people what a tremendous fighting man we have here. He is courageous, he's aggressive, and he's kind. And he'll go where you tell him to go. And he's got self-discipline, and he's got good unit discipline. He's just an outstanding man. And having commanded this battalion for 18 months, please, you must excuse me, my emotions here. But when I see some of these men go out, I can't tell you how highly I feel for them. They are tremendous." A war correspondent reported, quote, "I saw them fight in Dien Drum. It always galls me when I read or hear about the World War II generation being called the greatest generation. These kids were just as gallant and as courageous as anyone who fought in World War II. For years, no one talked about it. American soldiers described coming home as traumatic as the war itself. Even Vietnamese veterans avoided talking about it. Many carried invisible wounds, what we now recognize as PTSD, as well as lasting health effects from exposures like Agent Orange. The annual washing of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial is a solemn tradition observed in Washington, D.C. in preparation for Memorial Day. Volunteers carefully clean the memorial's polished black granite panels, which bear the names of more than 58,000 Americans who died or went missing in the Vietnam War. It is a hands-on way to honor the fallen. The timing ensures that the memorial is pristine for the thousands of visitors who will come to pay their respects. It has become both a ritual of care and a symbol of remembrance for Vietnam veterans and their families. Today, we remember and we thank you, your sacrifices, and those of your fallen brothers and sisters. We will never forget your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
MB number 1.
hear me okay?
Okay, nó bị nó bực quá.
You did?
Mic không nghe, mic không nghe.
Không nghe vậy?
Okay, we'll do this one.
Test it.
Do you guys hear me okay?
No, không nghe.
Do you guys hear me okay?
No.
Nó cần mic, nó không cần mic
You
đâu.
guys hear me okay?
Không cần mic, nói miệng thôi.
Nói miệng
No, wait.
Constitutional,
Wait,
right?
wait.
chơi
I'm
kỳ quá
a
vậy.
war veteran today.
Wait.
Okay?
No
I
mic.
can't even speak, but I will speak right now. So thank you so much. Today is your day, Vietnam War veteran, and I know this is your day, and what they're doing is so unconstitutional. I want to say good morning to everyone. Welcome to Westminster. I'm the councilwoman in the city of Westminster here, Amy Fan West in District 1. I speak for my district and for our veterans today. Thank you for the leaders here, elected officials, members of the media, and our veteran and your beloved family. It is truly an honor for me to stand here today as we welcome our hero home who served during the Vietnam War. To our Vietnam veterans, welcome home. You served our country during the
Sao ốp
most
mic vậy?
difficult and conflict times in our nation's
Có vụ ốp mic
history.
như vậy.
You stepped forward when your country called, putting duty above comfort and service before self. Many of you were very young when you left your home, yet you carry the responsibilities of warriors.
Bị ốp mic rồi bà
Your
con.
courage, your sacrifice deserve our deepest gratitude. As someone who was born in Vietnam and later fled the communist regime with my family, I want to share something from my heart. For
Sao?
many families like mine, America represents hope, freedom, and opportunity.
Nghe thành
The
phố.
sacrifices made by American service members help preserve these ideals for people around the world. Thank you. Because of that, my family was able to come to the United States and build a new life. Today, we have the privilege of serving. I have the privilege of serving my community here in the city of Westminster as a public servant. That opportunity exists because brave service members like you defend the principle of freedom.
Đọc là ca
This
linh không?
story, your story, is part of America's story. Today we stand together not only to honor your service, but also to say what should have always been said with pride and gratitude. Welcome home. We are so proud of you. We are so proud of you. We thank you.
Nhưng mà sao ốp
And
mic
we
rồi?
will always remember the sacrifice you made for this
Hỏi
nation.
thị trường coi.
May God bless our Vietnam War veteran. May God continue to bless the United States of America.
Why turn off the mic?
Thank you.
Why turn off the mic? Why turn off the mic?
ủng hộ anh
Không kêu em
Why the
đi,
mic
giao
turn off?
loát vô.
Why the mic turn off? Why the mic turn off? Kỳ vậy?
Thank you. God bless you.
Tại sao lại off microphone?
Ủa chứ kỳ vậy ta?
Tại sao?
Sao kỳ vậy ta? Này hơi độc lạ, ca ly không?
Kỳ cục quá vậy.
Bây giờ mic ok lại rồi. Kỳ vậy? Bây giờ mic online kỳ vậy ta?
Họp gì kỳ vậy?
Này thành phố tổ chức mà bà con.
Yeah. Tại sao off?
Mic ok now brother. Mic ok.
And continue.
Oh, I can't believe it. CD Westminster, I can't believe it.
It's my honor to introduce Congressman Derek Danng.
Lee off the microphone.
Your hands up.
Lee off the microphone.
Why you off?
Okay, we heard you. Shut up.
Lee off the microphone too.
No, freedom.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Representative Derek Tran. I first want to say thank you to the City of Westminster, its leaders, and its staff for putting this event together.
I can tell. Hey, what's up?
Today, we join as a nation to observe National Vietnam War Veterans Day. We gather not just to look back at history, but to look into the eyes of the men and women who lived that experience. Those who answered the call when their country asked, "Who will go?" For many of you, the homecoming you received decades ago did not match the magnitude of the sacrifice that you made. You served with honor in difficult terrain, far from home, bound by a sacred oath to protect and defend the Constitution. That oath is not merely a formality. It's a life-altering commitment. It is a promise to stand in the gap for our values, and it is bound to connect every generation of the American military. As someone who has stood in those same boots and swore that very same oath, I know that the title of veteran is earned through grit, discipline, and an unbreakable devotion to the person standing to your left and your right. To our Vietnam veterans, you are the architects of the modern veteran experience. Because of your advocacy and your resilience, we ensured that no future generation of servicemen members would ever return to silence. You turned your experiences into a legacy of support, ensuring that those who followed you were met with respect and care that they deserved. We remember the 58,222 names etched on the wall, those who gave what Lincoln called the last full measure of devotion. And we stand with those of you here today who carried the torch of liberty and continue to lead our communities with that same servant's heart. Our gratitude must be more than a set of remarks. It must be a perpetual mission. We owe you a healthcare system that works, benefits that honored you, and a country that remains worthy of the sacrifices that you've made. To our Vietnam veterans, welcome home. We see your courage, we honor your strength, and we thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. I'd now like to introduce Assemblymember Treetop.
Every time somebody's buried, they have a flag that takes you out of.
Good morning, Mayor Nguyen, City Council member, honored guests, and most importantly, our Vietnam veterans and families. I am Assemblyman Treetop, and I have the privilege of serving District 70 in the State Assembly. It is an honor to be with you today. Today, we honor those who live history. To the men and women who served in the Vietnam War, thank you. Your courage and sacrifice came at the time of deep division. Yet you answer the call with duty and strength. For me, this is deeply personal. As a former refugee from Vietnam, I know that the freedom and opportunity I have today will make possible because of your service. Families like mine were giving a second chance because of what you endure. That is something I never forget. As we mark 50 years since the fall of Saigon, we are reminded that this history is not distant from many families in our community. The pain, the loss, and the journey to freedom still live on in the story of our families.
and the threat of communist Vietnam is never far. We saw that reminder even recently in Anaheim. It underscored the value that we fought for, you fought for. Freedom, human dignity, and democracy must always be defended, even here at home. Today, we also remember that more than 58,000 Americans will never make it back. We honor their sacrifices and carry their memory with us. To those who did return, we recognize that the welcome home was not always what it should have been. But your strength, your resilience, and your continued service to your communities have not gone unnoticed. Today, we say thank you. You are honored, you are appreciated, and you will always be heroes. Thank you so much for your services.
Thank you, Assemblyman. On behalf of the City of Westminster, we would like to extend our appreciation to the representatives from our federal, state, and local offices for being here and showing their support today. I'd like to introduce our first honored guest. Let's give Captain Ring, I'm sorry. Keynote speaker. It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Captain William Bill Ring. Captain Ring proudly served the United States Marine Corps, attaining the rank of captain. He attended the Naval Flight School in Pensacola, Florida. He served on active duty in Vietnam, completing a 13-month tour that included 520 missions, notably during the 1968 Tet Offensive at Khe Sanh and Hue City. Throughout his distinguished service, Captain Ring received numerous honors and decorations. To name just a few: the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Purple Heart, the Air Medal, and the Presidential Unit Citation. Following his military service, Captain Ring has remained actively engaged in the community through his work with the Freedom Committee of Orange County and as a frequent speaker at military recognition and community events such as this one. Please join me in welcoming Captain William Ring.
Well, nice and sunny. We don't have the temperature or the humidity of Vietnam. Before I start, I want to pay some recognition to the Vietnamese community. About 40 years ago, myself and another former Marine pilot started an organization called the Vietnam Combat Pilots Association. And we would meet once a month over Del Toro or Tustin for dinner. And we were made up of mainly Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army. And I said, you know, about a year after that or so, I said, you know, there's Vietnamese veterans here in the community. We've had the largest Vietnamese population outside of Vietnam. So we invited a few Vietnamese pilots to join us. And shortly after that, your former president or prime minister, Vinh, I believe, was visiting here. And we got an invitation, John and I and our wives, to come to a community center. I can't remember if it was Garden Grove or Westminster. We were the only Caucasians. There must have been 300 Vietnamese we had an interpreter, and when they asked us to stand, I will tell you, goosebumps. Your community welcomed us like no other community has ever welcomed us. You knew that we fought for you, and we're very appreciative of it. Thank you very much.
Cả mọi người nói chuyện về xe hết thì có mình là người duyên ông mới không có sự nói chuyện bị ốc bích các bạn nên em biết lý do tại sao đó là của thành phố Westminster.
I think a few of these people saw part of my speech. I heard bits and pieces of it. We were soldiers, once and young. Most of us were the leading edge of the baby boom generation. For many of us, our grandfathers or great uncles were in World War I. Fathers or uncles in World War II, perhaps older cousins in Korea. And now comes a war for our generation, Vietnam. Some of us were drafted, about a third. Some of us were enlisted, some officers. Many didn't want to go to Vietnam, many did. Regardless, we all served. Some of us may have gone over as a unit, but most by themselves. We went as strangers to a strange land and did our job, whatever it was. Regardless of the branch of service or which area of South Vietnam you were at, or perhaps some in North Vietnam, we served. There was a time in our lives when strangers were willing to put their life in harm's way to save a fellow Marine, soldier, continental sailor, black or white, air crew or grunt, didn't make any difference. 240 men were awarded the Medal of Honor. The average infantryman in the Pacific during World War II saw about 40 days of combat in 4 years. The average in Vietnam was about 240 days in a 12-month tour due to the helicopter mobility. Some 5,086 helicopters were destroyed during the war in Vietnam, and over 2,200 helicopter pilots lost their lives, including thousands of air crewmen. The typical draftee was obligated to serve 2 years, long enough to go through boot camp and basic or infantry training, then off to Vietnam for a 12-month tour. 13 months for the Marines, to kill the enemy for their country. And we were reminded every night on the evening news when we were shown the kill ratio, like a football score. When thousands of soldiers returned to the United States, many were met by demonstrators filled with hate and disdain. Many GIs took off their uniforms so as not to get harassed. Did our country thank them for their service? Not really. There was no transition back to civilian life in a VA system that was unprepared for the trauma of combat experienced by returning discharged combat veterans. For years, many Vietnam veterans seldom spoke of Vietnam except to other veterans, until about 40 years ago when groups started reuniting across the country. They say time heals all wounds, but many Vietnam vets still hide their combat experiences from their relatives and closest friends. Some of us left our blood in Vietnam. Some 58,220 lost their lives, whose names are engraved on the wall in Washington, D.C. When we came home, we came back to an ungrateful nation torn apart over Vietnam. We were blamed by biased news and politicians that never wore the uniform for a war that we lost. Even though the American military, following the Paris Peace Accord in January of 1973, was out of the country for 2 years before the South Vietnamese lost to the Communist North in April of 1975 as a result of the U.S. Congress breaking the promise by President Nixon to provide U.S. air power to South Vietnam in the event of an invasion by the North. Of the 9 million military personnel who served on active duty during the Vietnam era, 2.7 million Americans served in uniform in Vietnam. 7,484 women, of which 83% were nurses. Yet during the 2000 census, the number of Americans falsely claiming to have served in country was 9.5 million. 14 million in the last census of 2010. Of the 2.7 million Americans that served in Vietnam as of February of 2019, 610,000 ground and air veterans are still alive, and about 164,000 who served at sea. 50 plus years later, it's common to see Vietnam vets proudly wearing a baseball cap, showing their Vietnam service, and strangers thanking us for our service. We went as strangers, but we came home as brothers and sisters in arms. We share to this day a common bond, shared only by those who were there. Now, 50 plus years later, we gather here today, a day of honoring our men and women who have served our country. And speaking for the Vietnam vets, we are grateful. Welcome home. Thank you for your service.
Cảnh sát trưởng làm MC nha mọi người. Đây là cảnh sát trưởng là MC bên này. Chương trình là nghệ viên em ở Hùng West đang ngồi buồn luôn.
And as he takes his seat, let's give Captain Ring another round of applause. Okay, Captain.
Em ở Hùng West bên này bị thân ấp là mic.
Now it's my honor to introduce Mr. Annie McTeague. Mr. McTeague is a proud United States Navy veteran who served our country with distinction for 22 years, from 1967 until his retirement in 1989. During the Vietnam War, he was a member of SEAL Team 1, where he was stationed in a village for 6 months in support of combat operations. In addition to his service with the Navy SEALs, Mr. McTeague was also serving aboard a U.S. Navy ship for 1 year, contributing to critical naval operations during his military career. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome.
Cảm ơn Chien Xe. Cuối cùng đi vào bỏ đồng đấy, cứ đưa nhiều tài sản của bên này. Cảm ơn chị Mai Lê, chị Mai Lê vô nhiều tài sản của bên này. Cảm ơn chị Cathy Thanh Lý nhiều tài sản của bên này. Cảm ơn Jennifer của Vinh Salon nhiều tài sản của bên này. Cảm ơn anh Quốc Thái chủ Hồng Kông California có nhiều tài sản của bên này.
This is a fascinating group. I want you to know that there are so many Vietnamese that have helped us become part of this community. One of the things that I've done for the last 8 years is I have been invited to do a gratitude project at grade school. A grade school here in Garden Grove, in the 6th grade at Murdy Elementary. And Murdy Elementary has what's called the Gratitude Project. And that Gratitude Project honors and asks those 6th graders to interview their parents and their grandparents, if they're still with us. How did I get here? Why am I here? And when we're answering, and when they're interviewing us, they're interviewing me, they're interviewing
Bữa nay 29 tháng 3 2006 năm Cali. Buổi lễ rất là quan trọng luôn. Bữa nay của thành phố tổ chức luôn. Thì rất là đông người thành phố bữa nay do thành phố tổ chức. Thì bây giờ tất cả hồi nãy giờ anh kiểm tra thì mic thì nghe ok hết. Nhưng mà có cái điều buồn là chị em không West thì nói chuyện thì bị ốp mic không. Thì lý do tại sao em không biết. Em có thể nào em hỏi ở đây em thấy có anh Tony Bùi nè. Anh này cũng là làm trong lúc trước cũng làm trong CD nha bà con. Anh Tony ơi, anh Tony có thể làm xin hỏi anh Tony một câu được không anh Tony? Hello anh Tony. Thì hồi nãy giờ anh Tony theo tham dự cái buổi lễ này thì anh Tony cảm thấy cái mic hồi nãy giờ có bị trở ngại không anh?
Dạ, kính thưa quý vị, tôi có đến tham dự từ lúc đầu ông thị trưởng Charlie Nguyễn nói thì mic không có trở ngại, đến ông phó thị trưởng Mạc Nguyễn cũng nói không trở ngại, đến ông Carlos Menzo là deputy cũng không trở ngại, cho đến khi cô Amy Phan West lên thì microphone lại ngưng và cô ấy hỏi tại sao thì những người trong ban quản trị cũng như thành phố đứng yên lặng không trả lời. Rồi cô vẫn tiếp tục nói bằng không microphone để nói lên những ý kiến, những phát biểu của cô theo đúng tinh thần của một người nghị viên của thành phố. Đấy thì tôi thấy là sự kiện nó xảy ra như vậy, tôi trình với tất cả quý vị và riêng tôi thấy đây là không phải là sự cố kỹ thuật mà đây là sự cố ý kỹ thuật để ngăn trở tiếng nói của một người nghị viên, mà cho dù nghị viên đó khác ý kiến bất đồng với quý vị nhưng quý vị cũng để cho cô ta phát biểu trước công chúng nha. Thành thử ra thành phố Westminster cần phải được thay máu, phải được chỉnh trang. Cái người thị trưởng là người bất tài, không tương xứng với những việc làm điều hành những buổi họp kéo dài cả 5-6 tiếng đồng hồ qua đến buổi sáng hôm sau là cơ. Thì đó là gì? Đó là sự khác biệt ý tưởng mà các bạn không biết cách giải quyết, không biết cách điều hợp. Thành thử ra thành phố của chúng tôi là cư dân thành phố, đã đi thành phố này đang và đã đi vào tình trạng suy thoái về nhân sự cũng như về tài chánh và sẽ có một cái khủng hoảng tài chánh trong tương lai gần. Do đó chúng tôi nghĩ rằng là thành phố Westminster này của chúng ta cần phải có một khuôn mặt mới để thay ông thị trưởng hoặc là thay những người mới là điều hành buổi họp, hiểu biết tiếng Anh rõ ràng, hiểu biết cách nhìn financial report và có những sáng kiến để đưa thành phố này đi lên, chứ không thể là một người thị trưởng ù lì không hiểu tiếng Anh mà vẫn gật đầu lia lịa như vậy là thế nào, là đưa thành phố của chúng ta đi xuống. Tôi nghĩ rằng là đã đến lúc thành phố Westminster phải được thay máu và phải được có một người mới. Riêng tôi đã tìm được một người mới là bà Dr. Kim Lee Hồ. Bà sắp ra tranh cử chức thị trưởng trong khi ông Charlie Chí Nguyễn tiếp tục đi lên cao để tìm danh vọng trên cao, thì cô này nguyện sẽ điều hành thành phố này tốt đẹp hơn. Do đó quý vị hiểu thì hãy ủng hộ cho người mới có khả năng, có năng lực để làm thị trưởng của thành phố Westminster, rất quan trọng cho người Việt tại hải ngoại chúng ta. Anh rất cảm ơn quý vị.
Anh Tony, bữa nay là lễ gì ở bên đây?
Tôi biết là đây là lễ vinh danh những người veteran American, những người chiến hữu, cựu chiến binh đã phục vụ tại đất nước Hoa Kỳ này. Do đó đã có rất nhiều người cựu chiến binh đến đây tham dự và họ cảm thấy bất mãn khi thành phố có một cái việc làm gọi là cúp microphone của người khác, không vặn microphone lên. Do đó nó tạo ra một cái ấn tượng không tốt đối với những người Mỹ.
Anh tên gì Tony, quá khứ là có làm trong CD không?
Dạ thưa anh, tôi là Tony Bùi, từng làm Planning Commissioner của thành phố, tức là ủy viên kế hoạch của thành phố này, cũng như là ủy viên để kiểm soát tiền tax của quý vị, gọi là Measure Y and E Committee Chairman. Do đó tôi có thẩm quyền để nói lên đến quý vị là thành phố này đang đi vào con đường thoái hóa vì không có người điều hành tốt đẹp, không có người hiểu phương thức điều hành sao cho tất cả mọi người cùng cộng tác chung với nhau, nhất là cả những người bản xứ, những người Mỹ, người Mễ, họ lợi dụng cái sự chia rẽ trong cộng đồng của chúng ta nên họ không muốn làm gì cho thành phố này tốt đẹp cả.
Can you say something in English?
Oh, I am Tony Bùi, used to be Planning Commissioner of the City of Westminster and used to be chairman of committee for measure Y and E investigation or control. Do đó, hereby I attend the meeting today and I saw something weird happening. Every people get to the podium and they can talk in the microphone easily. The mayor, the vice mayor, and then the deputy. However, when Amy Franquest is the one of the city council, and the microphone was turned off, and she asked why, and nobody take any action to turn it on. That is really bad. And after she complete her speech, then the representative of Derek Tran come up, and then the microphone was working good. Why? What's wrong with it? I think that this is not technical mistake, but is a plan mistake. That is mistake to stop the city council talking to the public. That is a bad example, and I hope this city of Westminster have to change the coordination, the administration to be better. And let's vote for a new mayor of city of Westminster. I right now support the new mayor, running for a new mayor. That's the Dr. Kimberly Hall. She has the knowledge of administrative, of financial record control, and many other things. And let's change for city of Westminster to be better again.
Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Đây là các cụ chứng minh rồi, các cụ chứng minh là bắt chạy Vinh vậy, các cụ chứng minh.
Gary Coletti, U.S. Army.
Senator, your class.
Sorry. You want a little? Can you put a little? Thank you. Thank you.
Jack Weston, U.S. Army.
Facebook focus kami suka activity sa tampogan going to
Mario Milan, U.S. Marine.
Pasti tim sung dùng như thế này nó giúp là cái này cảm ơn tham gia của các bạn yêu sang những cái công sự này. Cảm ơn Jimmy Kang Nhật Ram đâu này. Cảm ơn chị Mai Lê Yuri như tại chợ công sự này. Cảm ơn chị Cá Tê Thành Lý như tại chợ công sự này. Cảm ơn anh Thái chị của Hồng, mình đã đi con này có kênh như tại chợ công sự này. hai thằng cả lucky người ta chọn không sao.
Raul A. Jaramillo, U.S. Army.
Phục vụ cho con này. Cảm ơn cô An Nguyễn cho mình nhiều tại cả phục vụ cho con này.
Amy, how you doing?
Hai thằng cả lucky người ta chọn phục vụ cho con này. Facebook ko sa TV. YouTube ko sa TV show. Chính mình chính. Bộ sa ka TV chính. Nó bị cái gì? Nó bị cái TV chính. Nó bị sang cái gì? Nó bị sang cái gì? Facebook ko sa TV. Chúng mình không đi có sa TV show.
Stephen J. Kemp, U.S. Navy.
Cảm ơn Nguyễn nhiều. Kim Lý, ca sĩ thân mến nhiều tại giúp đỡ các bạn. Cảm ơn cô cho lại USA tại chồng. Cảm ơn chị Cát Thanh Lý như tại chồng.
Stephen Nakachuki, U.S. Marine.
Facebook có đều satu đi. YouTube có đều satu đi. Chính YouTube như tôi chọn cái gì. YouTube như cái tôi YouTube như cái tôi sẽ chính. YouTube Facebook có đều satu đi. Tôi đang cảm ơn hết còn đã còn. Cảm ơn anh ca sĩ thân này chị Minh Linh nhiều tại chào cùng không sao hôm nay. Cảm ơn Mai Dũng Tạo em không bên Phu mình nhiều tại chào cùng không sao hôm nay. Cảm ơn sư tài của tôi rất rõ ràng tôi nhiều tại chào cùng không sao hôm nay. Cảm ơn ông ca sĩ Khuynh Cao và chị Minh Linh nhiều giúp đỡ đâu này. Cảm ơn ca sĩ
Ty H. Lee from the Korean Army.
Cảm ơn Facebook Mai Sao Quán nhiều giúp đỡ mọi người.
I'm sorry.
Bên này là ngày 29 tháng 3 2006 năm Cali rồi. Đây là Vinh cựu chiến binh Việt Nam quân đội Hoa Kỳ và Việt Nam tại chiến tranh Việt Nam rồi. Bên này là 29 tháng 3 2006 năm Cali.
Travis A. Mayfield, U.S. Army.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã bấm vào kênh của kênh. Facebook của kênh sẽ này. Và 2006 năm Cali. Đó là đi bữa đi rất chậm luôn. Đây là em không West bên này bị ốp mic à. Đây là em không West bên này có
Steve Pierce.
Facebook không có lưu tâm YouTube lưu tâm ta lưu.
Jerry Schultz.
Rồi, chương trình em vậy là xong rồi bà con. Có gì bà con ủng hộ em. Đó. Thì nó có lời nghị viên em không ghét bên này có bị một cái tên mới là ốp mic nha bà con. Ở thành phố cũng bị ốp mic mà ở đây cũng bị ốp mic.
Conrad Gomez.
Tại vì tất cả mọi người nói chuyện là đều ok hết. Nhưng mà nghị viên em không ghét thì nói chuyện thì bị ốp mic nha bà con. Facebook có cái lưu sao tv, YouTube đi ra sòng cả lưu đi. YouTube có cái lưu sao tv số 99, YouTube có cái lưu sao tv số 22, YouTube Osaka tv số 9, YouTube người Việt cả tv, YouTube người Việt cả tv số 9, YouTube đi ra sòng cả tv, YouTube đi ra sòng cả tv số 9, Facebook có cái lưu sao tv. Dạ, thank you bà con. Bà con như mong là sẽ là cái kênh của bà con. Thank you.